¿Tú eres inglés? ¿Quieres aprender español? Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Luis, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you, me, he, she in Spanish. So this is where, in my opinion, Spanish and English differentiate quite vastly. So let's get into it, let's learn some Spanish. I'm going to kick off with Yo como manzanas. Yo como manzanas. I eat apples. Apples. So the word como is eat. Yo como manzanas. Tú comes manzanas. You eat apples. Tú comes manzanas. And say he or she, él or ella, él for he, ella for she, come manzana. Él come manzana. Manzana. Yeah, so you've got to remember this little rule I'm going to teach you. And the rule is use S's. I is a solo and it ends in O. He or she ends in E. And as long as you remember that, you will cruise through it. You've got the thing is, you've got to remember you're learning a new language, so it's not going to come easy. You've got to be disciplined, you've got to be on it every day. Because if you're not, you will just forget. So every day I like to go on Duolingo. That's where I got started on it. Just boredom, really. I wanted to get on, do something different. I didn't know what to do. I just started learning Spanish on Duolingo, and this is how all this started. And it drills it into you from the start. You need to really get a grasp of it. And this is why I decided to film this video teaching you, me, he, she, before I even taught you how to say your name or how to introduce yourself. Because once I do that video on how to introduce yourself, you'll be able to also refer to people, other people like your mum, your dad, your friends, your family. So I'm going to recap it. Yo como manzanas, tú comes manzana, and él come manzana. And once you've got your head around that, like I said, most things, not everything, follows that exact rule. So now we're going to go over to drink. Yo bebo agua. Yo bebo agua. I drink water. Yo bebo agua. Tú bebes agua. Bebes. Tú bebes agua. And él bebe agua. You see, the word has changed following that exact rule. An example of when this rule doesn't come into play is the word need. If I say, I need water, yo necesito agua, that stays the same. If I said, you need water, tú necesitas agua. And if I say, he or she needs water, él necesita agua. It changes. Another thing I want to cover in this video is masculine and feminine, which we're going to do a deeper dive into it later in another video. But the thing is with Spanish, nouns, verbs, adjectives, it's all either masculine or feminine. And it can get a little confusing at first, but you will get your head around it the more you've got to really immerse yourself in a language. You've got to listen to music in Spanish, you've got to read in Spanish. Right from day one, just get straight on it. It's the best advice I could give you. Masculine and feminine is something that in English we don't have that. So that can be quite a challenge to get your head round. Like, for example, a glass. You're having a glass of water. A glass is basil, but a cup, taza. Where I'm going with this is taza. La taza is feminine. That's a cup. Una taza. And if I say un vaso, a glass, it's different. It's masculine. Another rule to remember this is typically, not always again, typically your feminine words will end in A and your masculine words will end in O. And it does differentiate. It's not a set rule, like carne, meat, carne. That is a feminine word and it ends in E. that is mainly the focus of today's lesson. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, it will help me out a bunch. And I hope to see you soon in the next video. Adios.